folks, and welcome back to Flexline Productions as we bring you the conclusion of the 30th Annual City of Mobile Championships. We're in our final round on the front nine, and we've made it back to the Admiral to see who will be our next champion. Once again, I am Dustin, Mouret, and once again joining me, one of our local top pros, J.C. Rohe, to bring you the coverage. How's it going, sir?
Amazing, man. Amazing to be here.
Indeed, and of course a big shout out to all of our sponsors who help make all this possible. Take a look at the leaderboard here. You can see M.A.D.G.A comes into the final round with a 4-stroke lead, Kiefer right on his heels, and Andrew Marwede and Justin Rosak not too far behind, but they're going to have to play some great golf to catch M.A.D.G.A at this point.
Yeah, we saw this course in round one. If you didn't check that coverage out, go back, watch it. But this course has some teeth. As we start off with hole one, it's a par 4, 525 feet. Most players are probably not going to be throwing the gap you see here, probably just throwing around the outside. If you kick off left on that early gap, you could find some trouble, but you really just want to place yourself up here to find the green.
All right.
Can I get the second one after Matt?
May I get the lead group up here real quick?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
So this is actually the TD of the tournament, Philip Tate, and the Vice President of the Mobile Area Disc Golf Association. And he just wants a photo of the lead card, so let's give it to him.
All right, y'all ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, appreciate y'all. Hey, good luck, baby. Thank you, sir. Enjoy yourself. Mario, Hound Dog.
Hey guys, remember in hole 7, drop zone is from the tee box only.
T-box only. Hey, thank
There are
you.
TVs on the party.
All right, first on the box, 1:30 tee time. From Government Street. Matto!
And with M.A.D.G.A, our leader will take the box first, representing Westside, currently ranked number 10 in the UDisc World Rankings, and came into this event fresh off a win at the Open in Tallahassee. Had some top 10 finishes earlier this year at Las Vegas Challenge in Waco, and has had 4 podium finishes on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, including Worlds last year. And he's also a 6-time champion of the City of Mobile.
And a big crawfish fan, as you see the nice shirt.
He's not a fan of that shot, though, probably.
Matthews
just
at negative
a little
25, second on the
inside.
box. From Valrico, Florida, Kevin Kiefer, the third at 21 under.
That's right, Kevin Kiefer coming in, representing Latitude 64, 4 strokes behind the leader. Had a solid season last year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, had several top 10 and top 20 finishes, and 9 career MPO wins.
Yeah, we saw him in the round 2 coverage. He can rip. As he is taking that inside line, doesn't quite, that's the danger of that. He doesn't quite get it turned.
Alpena, Michigan, Andrew Marwede.
So we do have Andrew Marwede taking the box, representing D.G.A, currently ranked 35th in the UDisc World Rankings, coming off a couple of top 15 finishes so far this year at Waco and Texas State. Also had a very good year on the Pro Tour last year. Had 9 top 25 finishes in 2022.
Yeah, he's throwing that forehand, kind of cooks it over a little bit, doesn't quite get the flex, so he'll have
Fourth on the box,
challenging
also at
up and down
negative
for
18.
birdie.
From Zionsville, Pennsylvania, Justin Rosak.
And Justin Rosak is out of Pennsylvania, but he kind of represents the Virginia scene, having been a player on the Liberty University disc golf team. He's been a pro since 2019. 1,000 rated with 9 MPO wins. This is his second year on the Pro Tour. Did come 10th at the Music City Open last year and top 25 at Waco and Des Moines as well.
So you said he played for Liberty?
Yes, he did.
Did he also play linebacker?
I mean, he could very well have played both ways if he wanted to.
He gets a great shot up in the green. Solid forehand there from him.
And of course, he represents Prodigy. Apologies there. As we get to M.A.D.G.A, this is a trust in his hand, looking to trust it up to the green after getting a little bit of a rough kick off the tee.
All right, he's still got a gap, but it's going to be tough to get it around these trees, and he connects with one of them.
I mean, this is a pretty daunting first hole, honestly. Like, it's a dog leg left that requires a technical shot to give yourself a chance for birdie.
Marwede here tucked in, throws the forehand roller, fights through a good bit. He should have a slightly outside the circle look.
Yep, definitely should be a chance to poke at it from circle 2. Kiefer, on the other hand, is in a really tough spot here early left. This is the worst place you could be off the tee, really. tries the forehand roller out and gets caught up, and will have to waste another shot just to get back into the fairway and approach the green.
And Dustin just leaking it a little inside on that turnover shot. Should be a pretty routine par from there. He did stay in the open.
And again, Kiefer getting caught up. And so that's even going to be tough to save par on this hole. M.A.D.G.A wasting no time just laying up for his par.
What's crazy about this course is you have a lot of those little gaps right there in between the fairways for maintenance work, and sometimes it can be, you know, a blessing, and sometimes it can be a curse.
Right, as this is our lone chance for a birdie on this hole. Marwede from range, and he's very deadly as a putter from this very area. Just a tick high. This, I believe, is a par save attempt here from Kiefer from range.
Just a little off right.
So that'll likely bring the separation to now 5 strokes between M.A.D.G.A and Kiefer, so increasing his lead on the very first hole with a par.
Yeah, hopefully Kevin can just calm the nerves and go through the course. He did shoot hot, or pretty hot in the first round, so.
Now, he's been, you know, just behind Matt for the bulk of the tournament. Hasn't, you know, put himself out of striking distance by any means. We'll see everyone else kind of clean up here. Move on to hole number 2.
Yeah, so hole 2 is one of the shorter par 3s on the course, 252 feet. Most players are probably going to try to flip up a putter and land it a little short of the basket to let it slide up, as this green is really fast. You have one tree on the right side that really can affect your shot.
This is M.A.D.G.A just going Warden, trying to do that very move, sliding it up, and indeed he achieves that goal.
Looked like it leaked a little inside, but able to sneak through some gaps.
Was kind of in a similar spot in the first round, but he was deep that time. This time he's more shallow left side, but definitely still has to look at birdie for it.
And just near that, I believe that's a distortion from him. Maybe a little too overstable for the play, but
Actually winds up pulling it a little too far to the right, catches an early tree. This is going to be a pure from Kevin Kiefer. Early, but slides up under the basket, and that's a great way to recover after a tough first hole.
Dustin really just left with a pitch up there. Be left with about a 15 to 20 footer for par.
And yeah, we did have a pretty sizable gallery that showed out today to watch this final lead card. Marwede, just again, uncharacteristic for him. He's such a good putter. We know it. I mean, he's been a stat leader before on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in the putting category. So just a touch off, though, this weekend, it feels like.
Flashing some rings there. He's 6-time champion, as you mentioned, of this tournament, and able to keep that in the basket.
Yeah, it was that 50-50 left side. He catches the right 50%. And that'll allow him to maintain that 5-stroke lead once Kiefer taps in.
All right, we move on to hole 3, 246 feet. You got 2 gaps off the tee, either a forehand or backhand turnover. Really, the issue with this is you want to control your distance. So the green's really fast on this as well.
M.A.D.G.A going with a maiden, just a slight backhand turnover up that right gap you were referring to, and that is exactly what you want. And we're going to see Kiefer go with the harp. This is kind of going to fly over the top of the red tee through the left gap, and hopefully fade to the basket is going to be the line he's choosing for here.
Yeah, this is definitely the tighter gap, but once you hit it, you should be able to get all the way to the basket if you throw over stable enough.
Catches an early tree on the right-hand side and now has to scramble for par.
He's fortunate enough to kick off to the left, though. It leaves a lot more open.
Yeah, it's a chance for Matt, though, to gain another stroke. That was put him up 6 if he was able to connect on his birdie putt. Probably zone from Marwede, hard to say. I mean, obviously DGA players sometimes will throw a few discraft moles.
Yeah, it comes up a little short in that range that we've seen him miss on the last hole. Hopefully he's able to connect there.
Yeah, this is either an A2 or an A3 out of Rosak.
That was a little high, so it pushed right, but he's on the dance floor. He should have a putt.
Good upshot there from Kiefer to give himself a chance to snag the par and at least not let M.A.D.G.A grab 2 on him here. Great putt from Marwede. As you had noted, that's a range that's going to get him some trouble, so the connect early in the round's going to do him well.
And Dustin just a little off left. That's a great par save from Kevin, though.
Yeah, this is definitely a hole that has some teeth if you get caught up early, but he was able to pave his way forward to par, and so will still be Matt, though, with a 6-stroke lead with that birdie. And, I mean, he's starting to create a dangerous amount of separation from the field. Might be surprised to hear a pharmacy sponsoring this disc golf coverage, but Saraland Pharmacy is actually one of the best disc golf stores in Southern Alabama with a huge variety of brand new plastic and some great used stuff as well. Be sure to come on by.
Move on to hole 4. It's a par 5, 818 feet. Pretty attackable for the eagle. Most players are going to be throwing a hyzer either before or after this wall of pine trees that we're crossing. They're going to set themselves up to try to throw through this gap or maybe a forehand on the left side. And pretty guarded green here, so see how that plays.
Yeah, and this is a hole that can be eagled if you get a really good tee shot with the distance that it is, but it's really about placement.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary shot to try to run that 400 feet through a, probably about a 10-foot wide gap.
I mean, M.A.D.G.A puts himself in that position where he could consider it.
And he's got some strokes to play with, so we'll see what he decides.
That was about as ideal as it gets on this hole off the tee.
Already just a little more inside than Matt.
Nice shot, dude.
Fights through, though, so he should still be in a decent position to at least get birdie, if not still attack for eagle. Kevin Kiefer going with his drive, which we proved that Muni does not hit trees. And that's what he's banking on right now.
We'll see if that holds true.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to keep that true at this course, that's for sure. Definitely wanted some finish out of that, and it didn't happen for him.
But he didn't hit a tree.
That is true. So, still, Kevin Kiefer rise, folks. Great odds against trees.
Dustin playing the more inside route, but not pushing it far enough. He should still have a pretty easy up and down. And puts a mash on this.
Oh!
Nailing the catch cam.
The camera did get out the way, but that was a dicey one for sure.
Very impressive from that spot.
Who knew you needed to be an athlete to be a cameraman? We're learning that, you know, kind of over this year. I feel like that actually, yes, you do need some skills. As yeah, Kiefer is caught up here.
Pitching out with a scoober just to give himself that position that he would like off the tee.
And again, this is Matt with an opportunity to push for eagle here. They're on the flow. And it's just a little too low.
Skip.
And catches, yeah, some ground action. Easy birdie from that spot, though.
This is a challenge for Kiefer to get up and down for birdie from this position, though. And he could lose another stroke to Matt if he's not careful.
And needs to turn. Doesn't quite get the turn that he needs.
And that's a chance for Matt to go up by 7. Just 4 holes into the course.
That is a great 3 shots from Dustin there. Not really getting off the tee well, but that second shot put him in a good position to have a tap-in birdie.
You would.
And this is really starting to spiral now for Kiefer. And it's, again, he's a great dude. He's such a positive force, and you just hate to see him struggle like this. But at least gets that one through. But that was even dicey.
Shake it off. Not alluding to any Taylor Swift songs or anything, though.
I was never going to assume that you were. But now that you have said that, it makes me secretly wonder what goes on upstairs.
Andrew able to pitch up.
Yes,
Matt.
sir.
Big birdie there for Matt. And I believe this is for bogey for Kiefer. So, I mean, Matt has a sizable lead at this point. It's almost unreachable, it feels like, at this point, though it is still very early. But he would have to really fall off the tracks for someone to catch him at this point.
Yeah, and Kevin now another worry. He had a few strokes on the guys behind him, but they're starting to catch up now. So he's battling for what we can see is second place.
Yeah, battle for the top 3 for sure right now happening for Kiefer.
We move on to hole 5, par 3, 249 feet. Most players are probably going to throw in a backhand dead straight to the left of the basket or flex forehand. You really just need to get around that one large pine tree center cut of the fairway.
And Matt going the same play he did the first round, just trying to throw this maiden dead straight.
Gets a favorable kick off the root on the ground. Puts him in a similar position to round 1 as well.
And again, I imagine this is probably a zone out of Marwede looking to play the flex forehand line.
Pretty overstable. Doesn't quite get the flex on it. Kicks over to the right side. There's some gaps through there, but it's going to be a challenging putt.
This is Rosak looking to do a similar line to Marwede with the distortion, but hoping he can make sure he fits it through.
Gets it a little inside. Gets a great kick off that tree.
Oh, that was a beautiful kiss, man.
Take those. Yeah.
Praying the trees, I guess, before the round started. This is that savior again, I think, out of Kiefer.
Yeah, we haven't seen him throw too many forehands. But he's got a pretty good one. Just kind of catches a tree on the left side. A little too much flex out of that.
Yeah, I just think it wasn't playing as overstable as he thought it was. It just didn't really fight out quick. Tries to give it a run, though, but had to settle for par, and Matt's about to grab another birdie, and so it's just piling on at this point.
Marwede able to clean up the par. Matt from a similar distance for birdie.
Yeah, his lead is... You hate to call it this early in the round, but it is starting to get to that critical mass where you just feel like who's going to be able to catch him at this point if he keeps playing like this.
Right, because even on the chase card, there wasn't anybody close enough. He hasn't let off the gas at all.
No, he is birdieing all the holes you should be, really.
And this is one that you would really hope to birdie. Hole 6, par 4, 611 feet. Very challenging to get off the tee with a hyzer or flex shot. And you're trying to set yourself up to about right here for an up shot straight at the green.
M.A.D.G.A keeps the box. I believe he's going Maverick here.
Leaning it over, but doesn't quite get the fade that he wanted, but hit center cut on the fairway, so should be, he might be able to even attack for a birdie there.
I think you're right. I think he does have a lane to still maybe get up and down for birdie.
Dustin putting a move on this one, but it doesn't quite, it fights through the trees on the right side.
Yes.
That's in a great position.
Yeah, that is a fantastic shot. He did kind of test the, the border of danger over there on the right-hand side when he gets through.
And just a little inside from Andrew there. That's going to be a tough up and down for par even.
Great
Yeah,
shot.
Kiefer puts a great move on this, right where he wants to be. So got to respect the composure after a couple of tough holes.
Definitely.
I mean, this is tough for Marwede.
And electing for a slight cut roller, but trying to get the disc as skinny as possible to go through this kind of wall of trees here. Doesn't quite do so.
Oh, and Matt squares that up, and he's basically in a similar position to where he was the first round off the tee, where he's going to have to do some scrambling on that left side of the fairway.
Marwede able to kind of flip something up, catches a tree on the right side, but he's in the circle.
Yep, chance at safe par. Flex forehand here from M.A.D.G.A. And oh my goodness, what a shot that was.
Yeah, that makes the correction from round 1 where he tried forehand roller and connects well.
Yep, so he should be able to save his par and kind of maintain position. Great upshot from Rosak, setting him up for birdie on this hole.
Kevin looking to follow suit here.
Yep, I believe this is that pure again. It's been kind of the putter he likes to throw the most on the backhand.
Kind of pop it out. He needed a little more hyzer on that if that was the pure. Pulls over a little bit, but still puttable.
Yeah, so Marwede able to save the par, which considering where he was off the tee is a great feat. Kiefer able to grab the birdie in the end.
Gain 1 back on Matt and on Marwede.
A big putt there for Matt, keeping the sheet clean. It's worth noting at this point, Matt has only bogeyed 1 hole the entire tournament. So just kind of keep that in mind. He is crushing it right now. A&J Roofing and Construction Services is a full-service roofing company that provides high-quality work from local, friendly, and knowledgeable professionals at a competitive price. They pride themselves on excellent customer service and guarantee your satisfaction.
All right, we move on to hole 7, par 3, 286 feet, the toughest par 3 on the course, arguably the toughest hole on the course with the out of bounds surrounding the basket. Players are going to be trying to throw a hyzer backhand or hyzer forehand through either of these gaps. And it's worth noting that if a shot does go into the out of bounds off the tee, it goes to a 35-foot putt drop zone, which is a challenge in itself.
Yeah, definitely everyone looking to kind of lay up short of the island and maybe take a stab at it for birdie depending on where they land, but more than likely lay up and just get your 3 and get out of here. That's the goal. And yeah, Kiefer wants that to get down. That is very dangerous looking. Nah, that's going to put him to the drop zone. And the drop zone is not really a place that saving par is guaranteed. It's a tough putt.
Matt looking to take an overstable fairway and just skip it out to the right.
Yep, that was his felon and skips it into a good position to definitely lay up, but he might even consider going for it from there.
Yeah, he did in round 1. Wasn't able to connect, but able to stay on the island. So we'll see if he has similar luck.
Beautiful shot from Marwede. Oh, needs that to sit, and it doesn't.
Fortunately, though, with the putt, after the tee shot, he'll be able to putt that from where it exited.
Yep. Marwede lucky that stays on, so he'll at least grab par, but tried to give it a bid for birdie. Here's M.A.D.G.A, and he's eyeing it up. Let's go, baby! And a rare birdie on hole 7 from Matt, just to add on to it, as if he needed to with the lead he's got, but why not?
Yeah, the foot is on the pedal right now. He's not letting off either.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to him before he walked up to his lie, and I was like, "Are you going for it?" He's like, "I don't know yet." And then he gets up there and puts it in.
You see this drop zone putt from Kevin? Oh, the crowd thought it was in. I thought it was in, but
I thought it was in too.
a little left side, I guess.
Yep, so this is for bogey for Rosak, but like you said, since it was OB after the tee shot, he gets to take it from where it was and able to limit the damage. Marwede will be able to tap in for par, and Kiefer will also be taking bogey here. And so the separation continues to grow. Also want to note the athleticism taking place on the top of your screen right now for our catch cam.
Dodging discs, sprinting.
Up hills. Yeah.
As we move on to hole 8, probably the easiest hole in the course at 554 feet. Plays as a par 4. You're really just trying to throw as far as you can off the tee while still hitting the gap. Some of these guys may even give this an eagle look.
With this disc, I can tell you Matt's being aggressive. This is his Raider, so kind of his max distance disc.
Just a little low, but line drive shot.
Boom.
Yeah, that's kind of the same way that happened to him in the first round, too. He just threw it a little bit too low to have the airspace to really push, but, I mean, still likely a textbook approach for birdie. As Marwede choosing to go forehand for his shot, not surprising. He's definitely known for his forehand.
Getting the full turn out of this. It needs to get back, and it does so.
I would be scared to be a disc in Rosak's hands. Like...
He gets all of that one. Has good height to it, good turn, full flight.
That's past the dirt patch. I mean, that's definitely pushing that 500-foot mark. Very close to it.
Another guy who can definitely push that mark. Kevin going back to that rive.
That's brutal.
And I can see why he's disappointed in that shot. I mean, he hasn't hit a tree with a rive yet, and unfortunately, we found out that sometimes they do hit trees.
This is Pioneer, and a chance to still get the birdie with this shot. Look at this.
Plays it.
Hits the
Great.
pin. He hits the pin. That is bonkers good from where he was. Again, you got to respect the composure. I mean, you hit a tree off the tee really early, you're falling behind, and he just steps up and sinks that shot. I mean, that is beautiful.
As Andrew also hits the pole on his approach. Much shorter, still impressive.
And that's Matt just, laying up for his birdie. Didn't quite make it far enough to give it a real bid, but Rosak did.
And just over the top on the eagle look.
This is a star frame, that's for sure. These things are all right next to the basket. Very good approach shots from everyone, and obviously Kiefer's the most impressive of all.
Yeah, this is definitely what you expect out of your lead card.
Thanks. Thank you.
And we will move into hole 9, the final hole on the front 9, obviously. Par 3, 273 feet, uphill, low ceiling. You're really just trying to push a mid, maybe a fairway, and get it up to the green.
This is Matt throwing his pine, kind of a slightly overstable mid-range. Just kind of flexing it up there.
It is worth noting also there's a forehand route on this that Andrew may take.
Matt was trying to chase that CTP down. Didn't quite get it, but still that is a park job for birdie, and he is on a heater right now. The way he's playing, you wouldn't think he thought he had a massive lead.
Yeah, just constantly throwing good shots. Andrew giving it a really good run there. Over the top of the basket. There's a good backstop back there, so if you're able to get it all the way up there, I mean, that is a good play. Dustin just not getting enough turn on that.
This is Kiefer with that same pure he's been trusting all tournament. Yeah, scoots on up there. I was going to give him a look.
Yeah, it's really all you can do from there. Just pitch up. Give it a half bid, maybe.
And what a connection from Kiefer, grabbing himself a birdie from range. As again, while the separation to M.A.D.G.A might be somewhat out of his control, he definitely still has a chance to, battle for that podium position. He's got a couple of guys who are close to him, so it's an important birdie.
Marwede able to connect.
Yeah, keeping him in that fight with Kiefer for second, as well as whoever may be on the chase card. So I believe at this point, Joel Freeman was putting a pretty good move from the chase card to kind of challenge for a podium spot as well. As Rosak will punch in the par, and Matt will tap in the birdie. And I think this is about wraps up our final front 9.
Matt being nice. Grabbing the CTP for the tournament staff.
Not me.
Oh, Matt's a character and a half, man. Love the guy. You can't not, I feel like, as we wrap things up here on our final front 9. Again, a huge shout out to our sponsors, A&J Roofing and Construction, M.A.D.G.A, City of Semmes, and Saraland Pharmacy. Got M.A.D.G.A with a huge lead, but a pretty tight battle for the rest of the spots on the podium. And we'll see how it all concludes in our final back 9. I'm Dustin Mouret, and with me is JC Rowe. We'll see you here shortly to finish this thing off.
Like and subscribe.